The streets are buzzing. Game 1, NBA Finals, goes to the New York Knicks with the advantage in an amazing Game 1. Man, it had everything. It had back and forth, it had grit, it had some sloppiness, it had some late game heroics. And we are absolutely buzzing and a hype for what lies ahead, but can't wait to break this one down as the New York Knicks, man, had so many heroes. We've got game balls to give out, replay squad, salute. We'll be live post-game after Game 2 on Friday, but the New York Knicks gritted this one out as you see Mitchell Robinson, against all odds, came back, was available, did not have his best game, but had some huge moments, such as that big and one. But the New York Knicks pulled it out with Captain Clutch leading the way down the stretch. But before it got to that, it was Karl Anthony Towns and it was Josh Hart leading a furious comeback once again in the third quarter. The Knicks were down 14, but I never felt they were out of it. You know, it was a sloppy game in the second, third quarter. But the first quarter, I liked the energy, and the Knicks didn't look that rusty as they got, an 8-point lead early in the first, 4 minutes. But then San Antonio calmed down, and they went to work as well. Champagne with 5 threes. Dylan Harper was a key for the San Antonio Spurs. But Wembanyama had some troubles, looked tired late, and was inefficient, right? But plenty of Knicks were inefficient as well. They got their run from Champagne. Is this the Champagne game already out of the way? I was furious with the way the Knicks weren't guarding him and he got loose. But they kept it within touch, ladies and gentlemen. And y'all know what happens after that, right? As the New York Knicks found big buckets in the third quarter. Deuce McBride, man, this is one of the biggest shots of the entire game. Off glass, Josh Hart in the right spot, man, facilitating with 4 steals and 15 rebounds, man. One of the most grittiest performances I've seen from Josh Hart in his career, right? In the biggest stage, man. Everything is amplified right now, and the Knicks are just 3 wins away from an NBA championship. Currently favorites now to win the series in Vegas, right? They're still the underdogs for Game 2, but obviously we'll talk about Game 2 in a minute. But first, hit that thumbs up if you're buzzing right now, man. Knicks Nation, Knicks Streets, from generation to generation, living the dream right now. And everyone's just enthralled with the way this basketball team is playing, man. Whatever happens from here on out, it'll be remembered for one of the most historical runs, 12 straight wins. And it's fueled off defense, in my opinion. I think it's night and day the way the Knicks are just defending since halfway through that Atlanta series, right? And I think the Knicks are even more favorites to pull this one out because, look, give credit for the season the Spurs have had, and I expect them to really bounce back in Game 2 and raise their intensity and desperation, right? They got to, ladies and gentlemen. But the reason I feel like the Knicks are just so hard to beat right now in this playoff historic run is because defensively, right, you need multiple amazing bucket getters, right? That's why CJ McCollum was able to give the Knicks some problems because what do they say? Good offense always beats good defense. Yeah, there's going to be some games where Champagne has his big threes, goes off for a stretch. Dylan Harper for smaller stretches as well. And Wemby will have his big moments as well. But you need more than that to beat the Knicks. I'm being honest, defensively, because the Knicks they're defending like a shoe on a string, man. And right now, even if they're down, they'll find ways to get stops and claw their way back because they've got amazing offense as well. And their defense buckled down. Mikal Bridges, Landry Shamet, man, one of his biggest games of his career, man. The Knicks have got to find a way to keep Landry Shamet in this offseason no matter what happens from here on out, man. 13 big buckets. Was always moving, always cutting, always finding ways to be productive, right? without further ado, we're going to give out some game balls right now. But obviously, I feel somewhat subdued because this is hours after the game. Obviously, on my grind today, and I'm breaking this down after hours and look forward to being live post game on Friday night. But the emotions, you're feeling it all. You're feeling joy, you're feeling relief, you're feeling a bit of angst for what lies ahead still. But above all else, I'm just feeling confident in this basketball team because 12 wins in a row, that don't happen by mistake, and they've played some pretty good teams. Yes, the Spurs are probably the best team they've played, and they might not get, let off the hook in certain moments because I think the Spurs can obviously play a lot better. Mitch Johnson got to make a lot of adjustments for them. I think Dylan Harper was one of their best players. He needs to play more. But I'm looking top to bottom at the box score, and we'll bring that up in a minute. Specifically, San Antonio, right? Harrison Barnes minutes, they're not really great. They're not productive enough. Carter Bryant, they've just got a lot of question marks. Luke Cornett got torched, and Jalen Brunson sees him as food, right? So the non-Wemby minutes are the biggest issue for San Antonio, and Wemby's going to have to put in an all-time series very, very early in his career on the biggest stage to overcome this juggernaut, this buzzsaw that is the New York Knicks right now, as we see Jalen Brunson, man, after the game. I love the demeanor. I love the fuel. I love the focus. Everything we're seeing, man, as we see the New York Knicks head back to the tunnel after the performance, man. It looks all business right now. This is a business trip, right? And we don't want to settle for a split. So I really feel like the Knicks have got to keep their foot on the throats and just defend really well. And it's tough to make shots against the Knicks defense. Like, we did not hold San Antonio to 95 points by mistake, man. And, OKC, they don't really have the shot makers without J-Dubs, AJ Mitchell that the New York Knicks have. So the Spurs, man, the Knicks got to woke them up because, everyone counted the East out. Everyone counted the Knicks out in this series, man. Now the New York Knicks are favorites, man. Vegas, where you at, ladies and gentlemen? Amazing moment, man, on Inside the NBA where Cat paid homage to his late mother, who he felt present, man. He felt calming presence. Felt like his mum was in the stands as he put on his first finals appearance, man. One of the best performances in Cat's career. The third quarter, the and one plays where he got 2 and ones off offensive rebounds, helped fuel the New York Knicks comeback. And it was just methodical, ladies and gentlemen, as the Knicks strike first in this prize fight up 1-0. Ladies and gentlemen, let us know how you're feeling in the comment section, man. I'll respond, give you a high five, or dap you up in the comments, fam. Neutrals, Spurs fans, where you at as well. I want to hear from everyone. I think this is going to be a great series, but obviously the Knick fan in me wants this to end soon. But we'll see what the Spurs got. I think Game 2 is going to be the most pivotal in this series now that the Knicks have won. Now, usually Game 2 ain't the most pivotal, but I'll tell you why it's going to be the most pivotal game in this series. Because Knicks won Game 1, so you don't got to be a mathematician or a scientist to figure out. If the Knicks win Game 2, that's a hole. That's a hole where against a team that would have won 13 straight. Yeah, you ain't coming back. You ain't coming back from that, man. All the Knicks would have to do is win 2 out of the next 5. If the Knicks can win Game 2. So Spurs, expect them to come out with the most desperation you'll ever see. And if the Knicks can withstand that, they can withstand a run, and they can stay in the game, and it gets pressure. The building gets tight and all of that, man. We know the buzz is going to be on with this veteran squad. And look, I couldn't do a preview show because really there was a lot of emotions running through me this week with just wanting to get on with it. The Knicks have had 2 8-day breaks, and I really wanted to just break down the games, the performances that we see, and just see how the Knicks started and came out, because there was rust in Game 1 against Cleveland. But right now, the New York Knicks found a way, I think, to have a better break in terms of make it more productive. 8 days. Talk is they did a lot more scrimmage, higher intensity training, which was great. We obviously saw that tonight. The Knicks were ready for it. Came out the gates quite strong, despite giving up the lead. But you also saw some question marks over Mitchell Robinson. And that was like, with the injury, how was he going to come out? And all of that, ladies and gentlemen, as we see OG and Brunson at the podium. But now it's time to give out all the flowers, all the buzz, man, and the game balls too. Heroes abound, right? And we'll break down Mikal Bridges' performance and OG's performance in the bench. But these guys, they led this run and this franchise tonight on the biggest stage, game one, their first finals appearance combined. And Josh Hart with the 15 rebounds, 4 steals, was distributing 6 assists, looking up, always head on a string and head on a swivel. And Josh Hart, man, was a lion heart with his rebounding as well, attacking the glass, man, like a madman. And he was possessed on the biggest stage. So I'm most proud of this performance in terms of, like, no one really looked stiff. No one looked shook. No one looked like they weren't ready. They weren't, up to the task. It was all of that. And there was probably some nerves, obviously, first game in the finals, but it didn't show. And that's a big credit to the players, big credit to Mike Brown, big credit to everyone, man, with this organization. Jose Alvarado's minutes were amazing as well. We'll talk about that. But next man up, Karl Anthony Towns, right? He was truly unbelievable in that third quarter and throughout the game defensively. What a transformation, man, with Karl Anthony Towns' defense. Plus 14 in a 10-point win, 18 points with 12 bounds, and 4 of them offensive, right? Just 2 turnovers, right? A little bit of foul trouble with the 4 fouls, the block, but so much more disciplined, more locked in, more engaged on the defensive side. And I think that was the real difference in the Knicks' turning point with Cat locking in. Like, everyone knows, man, around the world how strong and talented Karl Anthony Towns is offensively, but defensively was always the question mark. Could he handle the big moments? Toughness, there was a question mark. People calling him soft earlier in his career as well. He's dispelled all of those myths and some, man. He's on his way to the Hall of Fame, the way Karl Anthony Towns is playing as a number 1 overall pick, multi-time All-Star and All-NBA, big man, the greatest shooting big man, did not even hit a 3, but it just shows how versatile, how skilled Karl Anthony Towns is. But I was just truly amazed with his grit. And he took it full advantage of the size mismatch. As I said earlier, I don't think Keldon Johnson gave the Spurs enough off the bench. Luke Cornett minutes, not good. Harrison Barnes minutes. Carter Bryant, man, if you're trying to rely on those guys against the New York Knicks, man, I think the Spurs could be in real trouble if they can't win game 2. And they're going to need more from their bench. They're going to need heavy minutes from Dylan Harper. And they're going to need a lot more, fam, I think, to pull this one out, as JB in the walk-off was straight focused, man. He looks possessed. Next man up, the captain. What to say, man? That big 3 in the corner. Once again, shout out. He got the tipped out the rebound to Landry, or Mikal, sorry. Mikal then kicked it back out, kicked it to the corner for Jalen Brunson. And it was bang from Mike Breen. It was splash. And Jalen Brunson's performance late with, I think, 13 points in the fourth quarter. Inefficient, had some sloppiness early. That was a little frustrating with some turnovers as the Knicks were giving up a lead in the first and second quarter. But the way he came home strong, man, he led this team down the stretch and got the job done, man, with some tough shot making, everything and some. Calming presence on the ball. I thought the Knicks did a phenomenal job keeping Brunson off ball as much as they could. Let Hart bring it up. let Macau bring the ball up. Deuce was bringing it up. Shamit was bringing it up. And that was just freeing up Brunson from that ball pressure. So he's already in a position to go to work from a half-court perspective, ladies and gentlemen. And he was just a man on a mission late. And what a still image this one is. Tweeted out by Sports Center and over the San Antonio Spurs, man. This will be iconic, man. The Knicks pull this one out. This will be on the posters of all the kids growing up, man, in New York City, right? The same ones I had with Patrick and John Starks. This new generation, man, living it up and living the dream, right? So those are the 3 game balls in this one. We'll talk about game 2 in a minute, but we can't not talk about the coach, right? I thought his adjustments were great. I thought he was prepared, and the substitutions, the timeout was excellent when the Spurs made their late run. I think they cut it to 5. The crowd was about to go crazy, and Mike Brown called an immediate timeout. Look, Spurs ended up clawing their way back and getting a 1-point lead right before Brunson got the bang. But I thought Mike Brown, man, in his first finals game, and all throughout this playoff run, except for early Atlanta series, has just been a godsend. Exactly what we needed to expand, to lift this Knicks offense and defense to another level, right? And Mike Brown has done that, ladies and gentlemen. So we're absolutely buzzing right now, and I think the Knicks' freshness will play a bigger part as this series goes along. Like I said, game 2, stating the obvious, but that's going to be the most important in this series, right? Legacy game for Wembanyama. If he can rise above, have a phenomenal performance, and show why he's the next biggest thing, he's going to lead his team to a game 2 win. If not, it's going to be curtains, right? Heading back to New York City up 2-0 would be the death penalty for San Antonio. So game 2 all on the line. And I love, once again, all the talk coming out of the game is the focus. Cat talking about like it's 0-0, 0-0. And all of that, right? Can Mitch play better as he gets used to playing with this brace as well? Had that big and 1, too. Yeah, man, Hart's imprints were just all over this one with the steals and the deflections. I thought the Spurs tried to give different coverages on Brunson defensively. They tried everything. But yeah, it's almost like they just got nervous down the stretch as the Knicks clawed their way back like they do. They smell blood and they chip away at it, possession by possession, with their defense, right? I don't think OG Anunoby had a great performance offensively, despite hitting 2 phenomenal threes, big shots. One of them was the big jab step in Wemby's face, man. I went ham when that went down. That was probably the hypest I've been of the game because that put the Knicks up 5, I think, down the stretch, or 8. And I thought that was going to be enough, but then Spurs, found their way. The Knicks had a couple of bad shots. Spurs chipped away. But like I said, Mike Brown called that timeout too. Once again, OG Anunoby still gave us 17 valuable points. Shamit's 13 points, man, was huge. I'm surprised he was a -10, but that just goes to show that the box score doesn't, show everything. But I am surprised with the 33 minutes. Like, that is a huge game, huge trust, and ultimately huge performance overall from Landry in 33 big-time minutes. But look, he's a veteran. He's been around this league a long time. He's 29, 28, 29. And coach after coach continues to trust Landry Shamet, the way he plays two-way ball defensively. Big plays from Cat with the rebounds again. The putbacks, third quarter, pulling Wemby, making him guard all around the perimeter was key. I thought Jose Alvarado was extremely savvy, getting to the rack at times with a quick reverse layup, got Wemby on that goaltend. That was big as well, fam. The Knicks just look like veterans out there. I can't say this enough, man. To pull out a gritty win like this on the road in most of these guys' first ever NBA Finals game, man. They looked like the more seasoned veteran team, and that is why I picked the Knicks. Believe in them in this series. I think it's the right matchup. Didn't get much from Clarkson, but Miles McBride could do a lot better. But yeah, look, Miles McBride's big three off the glass was one of the biggest moments in this entire game. And Mikal Bridges, always, playing physically, defensively, making his presence felt. He could still have a better game as well. Didn't jack up a three, but got to the line 4 times. Two steals, plus 11 from Mikal Bridges, man. Being a star in his role, fam, is fourth, fifth best player on any given night, man. And that's where I want to ultimately come together right now and just wrap it up, but talk about why this Knicks team is going to go on, I think, and break the championship drought. And yes, I'm not trying to get carried away, but I really feel like this series will hinge on the Spurs' lack of depth versus the Knicks' strength in depth as well, fam. They need more out of their stars, the Spurs, obviously. But like I said, if you're not getting anything out of Carter Bryant, Harrison Barnes, Luke Cornett, and Keldon Johnson, the Spurs are in trouble. It's just putting too much on the shoulders of their starting five. And look at the Knicks. I mean, they can win a game on the road, game one of the finals on the road, with like 4 or 5 of their rotation players not having a great game. And like I said, I'm not predicting no sweep, probably not even a gentleman's sweep, but I won't be surprised. But if the Knicks can just play better than what they did tonight, well, they're in a great spot. They're in a great spot to wrap this one up and win 2, 3, 4 more three more quickly. I don't believe they stole this one, as a lot of people are talking about, because it was a back and forth. Stealing a game is kind of maybe a game that it insinuates that you didn't deserve to win by stealing a game, right? The Spurs, this was a coin flip type game, and I knew there was going to be a lot of coin flip games in this series to come, because I do think both teams are very evenly matched. But I can't help but feel if Champagny didn't explode, the Knicks win this by 15, 20. And are they going to get another explosion from Champagny? They need more out of Devin Vassell. They need more out of Stefan Castle. They need Dylan Harper, who had an amazing game one of NBA Finals of his young career. He's a bright spot. I think Wemby can obviously play better. I'm not saying he can't, but you can't forget, as each game goes by, guys, Wemby is going to wear down. He's going to wear down more and more and more. This guy's 7'6". He's an absolute freak, a specimen, but it ain't normal to be 7'6" and running around like you're a guard. That just ain't how it's meant to be. And I can see the Spurs, they're doing what they're doing with the substitutions. They're getting him in and out for a blow real quick. But then the Knicks are smartly adjusting and having Brunson come in when Wemby goes to the bench, and we can attack Luke Cornett. So are the Spurs going to gas out? It was an unbelievable accomplishment to beat OKC, man. I give all the Spurs their shine and some to beat OKC, because I think OKC, obviously they had their injuries, but they're a tough beat, right? I'll always be fascinated to see the Knicks go up against OKC, but that wasn't meant to be. And this was the better matchup, I think, for the Knicks. But I don't know if anyone can beat the Knicks 4 out of 7 the way the Knicks are playing right now. Probably not in the NBA right now, because, like I said, defensively and the depth, and if 2, 3, 4 guys don't have it going, there's usually 3, 4 other guys that'll pick them up. And that is why the New York Knicks in the front office have really assembled a squad that I think is going to be super worthy of being called NBA champion, ladies and gentlemen. Just 3 wins away. Feeling emotional but excited, and a hype buzzing for game 2. And look, we haven't seen the Knicks lose a game, man, in 40 days. So it's kind of crazy how juxtaposed this run is compared to like previous playoff runs with Randall, even last season. The last 4 seasons of playoff runs, like it was herky jerky, it was PTSD, it was up and down. This is like something we may never ever see again, man. And we're riding the wave, and I think we're going to ride this wave all the way to an NBA championship. And that's how some championships are won. You just got to strike while the iron is hot. And the New York Knicks are flaming hot, are buzzing right now, fueled by two multi-time All-Stars, gritty role players, great coaches, super fan base, and it's destiny, man, in the air, ladies and gentlemen. Their post-game live after Game 2. Appreciate you for checking this out. Hit a thumbs up and give your thoughts and buzz in the comment section right now. Shout out to Knicks fans worldwide. We got this, ladies and gentlemen, man. Just take Game 2. And I think the job, man, is more than done, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go Knicks. Peace.